Today's Tuesday, September 1st, 2009. What you're currently looking at is the euro dollar. This is the 30-minute chart. It is currently 12 minutes after 11 a.m. New York time. And we just had a trade on the super scalper on this short here. I'm going to switch between the two. We've got a 60-minute chart and a 30-minute chart we want to take a look at. Please keep in mind that the fulcrum points that I use may be a little bit different than the fulcrum points you use. So I will post mine, the ones that I actually use, on the website. These are going to be available each day after 8 p.m. New York time on the Forex Forum page of the website. As I've often mentioned, we're looking for realistic profit targets, what we expect can be achieved today. We're going to trade intraday. We want to be flat at the end of the day, or at least that's the way I prefer to do it. And that's the way I do it with the super scalper. And today's trading opportunity was right here. Now, it was right after the news. This spike high here and doji candle was on the news. That was the candle that was created with the news this morning, which was released at 10 a.m. New York time. The news was, for the most part, good. At least the headline numbers look good. And you've got to remember, sometimes, and I'm sure we've all experienced it, everybody's experienced this, where the news is good or the news is bad, whatever the case is, but whatever anticipated direction, whatever expected direction, because of the economic data, that move will end up failing. In other words, if it's good news, everybody's going to be watching the stock market. Everybody got used to the idea that if the Dow and the S&P are moving higher, that you should be able to trade the euro and the pound in the same direction for the most part. Everybody got used to that habit. It was a habit that was created for the last 6-7 months or so, maybe even longer. It's a bad idea. You know, sometimes we'll see that disconnection and it confuses traders. Now, we really need to stay focused on the dollar. The dollar was actually creating, it's been inside of consolidation. Although I'm looking at the 1-hour chart. I really focus on the 1-hour chart with the dollar. It really gives me stronger signals. But it does create the same patterns. Now this consolidation range here in the euro dollars, for the most part, the same consolidation range that we're seeing in the dollar index itself. But the spike high here didn't, with the news, the good news didn't drive price any higher. The Dow rolled over. It's now negative 80 points. It just in the last few minutes when our super scalper trade paid off, that was that when everything rolled over. Everything rolled over. Futures, everything rolled over. And I mean futures, even index futures. So we want to keep an eye on it. It's a lot to keep an eye on, but we can use this on confirmation. Everyone's going to be trading in the same direction because something's affecting either interest rates, it's affecting the dollar, whatever the case is, we need to keep an eye on that. So the Dow rolled over, down now 88 points. And still moving. You can see that as it's making newer lows, we're seeing newer lows in the euro dollar. And I'm describing this correlation and this connection between the two because today it'll work like this, but please be careful. Tomorrow it may not. Now, the super scalper, it's set up to trade and take about 20 to 25 pips. 20 pips on the euro dollar, 25 pips on the pound dollar. I don't want to see a retracement. We don't want to see much of a retracement. And when we entered this trade here short on the close of this candle, this is the Tech 1 candle pattern. I do say that we don't want to trade inside of consolidation, but it was a news trade or the reaction to the news. That was the reaction. It was affecting all markets, and it was, for the most part, a very safe trade to take and easy to see. So here's the Tech 1 candle pattern. We've got that evening star candle pattern right here. Which are fibs just for additional confirmation, but it's really the news or the reaction to the news in the markets. 618 retracement, candle bodies were just below the 50%. So, and then we have this pocket of resistance right around here with these fulcrums lining up right on top of each other. So if you go to the forum page and you copy down some of these fulcrums on the currency pairs that you trade, you can stick maybe a yellow line, you know, in there for the day. And this is just for the day. It'll change at 8 o'clock p.m. New York time. The fulcrum points will. I'm going to quickly go to the 1-hour chart when this developed, just in this last candle. Now, when we see the same Tech 1 candle pattern develop, not only in the 30-minute, but also confirming with the 1-hour, those are really good trades, especially if it's in the direction of the trend. In this case, news was released, and we waited another 30 minutes. Actually, a little bit longer, but we waited until this candle pattern developed, and it was after, and it was also the reaction to the news. So this was a perfect trading opportunity. There really wasn't anything to get in the way of our entry and the possibility of this profit target being achieved right away. Again, we hit it. The number was 80 was our target, and you can see that's a psychological level. We don't want to push it too far. We see support down here. We don't know if it's going to bounce. We're taking our money. We're out of the market. It's a quick trade. I think that trade maybe lasted 10 minutes, if that. It was a really quick trade. So please keep in mind, there's a few things we want to remember. We want to take the trades, the Tech 1 trades, these trades with the small stop loss, when there's a greater chance that we're going to be behind momentum and traders are going to move price and the retracements aren't going to be deep enough to stop us out. Oftentimes, well, I've seen trades like this that work out. They still hit their targets, but after the entry, it'll come back up and maybe test an old support level one more time. And that's enough to stop us out with that 20 pip stop loss or 25 pip stop loss. We don't want that. We need momentum, and this was the driver. This was the time to wait for this particular opportunity. And as you can see, oftentimes, you know, if it's a rally, price will go off a lot farther. If you want to take a duplicate trade, when you see the super scalper place a trade in your platform, you can take a duplicate trade and trail it yourself and close it manually. It doesn't happen every day, but often enough there will be some kind of a reaction and a rally. And of course you could have picked up another 30 pips on this trade. So today was a good trading opportunity. We just took the euro dollar.